good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with the shady curtain in the background. No, it's not the bathroom. I heard what you brothers are saying. I'm gonna ban you from my channel with that bullshit. But guys, I'm just so glad to be here. And today, man, we have the brother that's he making more money than me now, and I'm mad too about. I'm gonna start hating on him. I'm gonna start hating on him, family. But the lead attorney, give him a round of applause, editors. And I want him to explain what his channel is and what he does.
Yes, well, as O'Shea said, I am the lead attorney. I am a 20-year divorce attorney here in Atlanta, Georgia. I started a YouTube channel. I started during all the crazy stuff that was happening last year. And yeah, so I've been on for about a year and a half. Channel's growing thanks to O'Shea. In fact, I had in January, I think I had 1,000 subscribers. And then he just reached down in the mud and got me and put me on a collab like this. And I looked up and I had another 1,000 like in 24 hours. And he did it again. And I had like 500 and he did it again and another 700. I was almost about to quit YouTube. You guys wouldn't be seeing this if it wasn't for O'Shea. So I owe him so much. And of course, he's not only helped me, he's helped everybody in this sector. So I am a huge beneficiary of O'Shea's graciousness. So yeah, I do videos now. My channel's kind of changed as I've kind of gotten the hang of things, but basically talking about the legal aspects of what's popping in the news, right? So yeah, this Dell Curry thing is right up my alley.
Oh yeah, and you're already a very charismatic guy, but when I see somebody in national media has a divorce, lead attorney at 2:30, we'll be talking about it. So, and then you will be breaking it down. TLA, let me ask you this, and I thank you for the kind words. I want to know. You've seen a lot of these things. We've seen Kanye, Kim Kardashian. Then there's been Dr. Dre, which is like probably the most notable one. But this one is the most messiest. It is just, there's accusations of cheating on both sides. And then she's now with his friend or somebody that she dated in college, which was his friend. And now he's saying that, well, she cheated and she's now living with him. I don't have to pay alimony. So for people out there, from an attorney's perspective, when it comes to alimony payments, when you have something like this, how do you decipher on who's telling the truth and all of that? Because it seems like it's very much he says, and there's proof on each side.
You're exactly right, and you're so correct to point out that this is messy and it's strange. I've been doing this for 2 decades, and I'm here in Atlanta. And in Atlanta, we got everybody. We got athletes, we got actors, singers, rappers, all types of entertainers in the adult industry, both male and female. We have businessmen, businesswomen. Everybody is down here in Atlanta. So if you've been practicing as long as you've handled some real cases. And it's strange to see a divorce that has the particular facts that this case has. Number one, they've been married for 33 years. Now, a lot of times, once the parties reach about 25 years, 30 years, they're just hanging on. And it does not mean that the marriage is good. It just means that these two people are tired. They're 53, 55, 67, and they are not going to start over. And you particularly see this with women. Women will hang on because no woman wants to be 61 years old sitting at the Cheesecake Factory on a first date off Bumble, right? They don't want to do it. They do not want to do it. And a lot of you men, you'll look up and you'll say, oh, you'll kind of brag on your parents. Oh, my parents have been married 53 years, 45 years. But you don't know what I know, right? When let's say a 25-year marriage they come to me and they want to get divorced. I will find out things that these grown children never knew about, because your parents have not told you so many things that have gone on in their relationships.
Hold on one second. Hold on. Kim, give me some sad music. TLA, would you explain some of these things that they may find out? We're gonna let you have the floor. Go ahead, player.
Yes, there's just so much violence, especially in old, because Listen, if you have a 40-year marriage, let's say, or a 30-year marriage, you're talking about a marriage that was going on in the 80s and the 70s, maybe, a relationship anyway, and things were different back then. Right now, I mean, you could get canceled just for looking at somebody wrong, but back then those were tougher days. Infidelities everywhere. There's so many, I mean, human just interactions, male female interactions are so complex to begin with. And when you take two people and you kind of handcuff them together through life, through 20, 30, 40 years, I mean, all types of things happen. And so there are a lot of reasons why people stay together. We mentioned age, of course, but also the kids, also financial dependency,
Mhm.
emotional dependency, right?
Mhm.
I've absolutely seen it all. So you're exactly right. When you look at this case, when I looked at it, I agree with you. I thought it was weird for a number of reasons. The first thing is that it is, like you said, it's getting so messy. The fact they're getting divorced anyway. Now,
Mhm.
this is a little bit different because there's no real financial dependency. You know, both Dell and Sonya, the mother, they're good, right? They're
Mhm.
set. So if they want to get divorced, it kind of makes sense because neither one of them is going to have to go on Bumble. They're going to have their own money. They're going to have their status, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that wasn't necessarily what made it weird. What made it weird is, like you said, that it's getting so ugly. I also want to point out
Mhm.
that they got Steph and another one right there in the NBA.
Yeah, Seth Curry.
Yes, I think Steph alone, if you take from what he's getting this year up to 2026, it's like $300 million. So why is this getting messy if the mom has millions, the father has millions, Dale has millions, and the children have millions? Why can't, after a 33-year marriage, why can't we just like say, hey, listen, let's just part our separate ways? Which I think what you're starting to see here is some greed, right? Because you can't really say they're fighting so much for the money. Because if your son has $300 million, like you got $300 million, especially if you're the mom, right? And so it's interesting why this is turning so ugly, especially because Dale. Shout out to Dale. This is he's an athlete. He was in the NBA, in the 80s, the 90s.
Oh yeah, I
Like
remember.
yes, you know how athletes get down, and
Okay.
listen, they cheat, and we've got a ton of athletes here in Atlanta, here in
Oh
Georgia,
yeah.
and I can tell you they cheat all the time. In fact, and shout out to Dale. I don't want to make it too controversial, but not only was he in the NBA in the 80s, but can I say this? He's
Mhm.
light skinned, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, if we
Okay.
gonna keep it real,
Keep it real now.
yes, if you were a light skinned brother in the 80s, I mean, you were getting them off. You could be poor and get them, right?
Oh yeah.
And so Dale, not only was he light skinned in the
Mhm.
80s, but an
Mhm.
NBA player who had his own money. He was getting it all. And Sonya, she ain't stupid. These women are not stupid. They understand exactly what the deal is. And I see it in Atlanta all the time. What you guys don't see, but what I see is that there are arrangements, right? There are agreements. Now, you don't know about your mama's agreement with your daddy, right? You maybe you were 2 years old, maybe you were born, maybe you weren't even born when this agreement was made. But couples who have this type of they're living a certain lifestyle, maybe high income, or maybe they're famous celebrity athletes, they absolutely have agreements or arrangements. What do these arrangements look like? Well, let's take Dell for a second. Everybody knew Dell was getting down outside of that relationship, right? And
Right.
the Sonya, the wife, was there. That's an agreement all day. Now, what are some of the rules that I see in these agreements? The first rule: don't embarrass me.
Okay.
Don't embarrass me. What does that mean? No outside kids.
Okay.
If you have an outside kid, that baby mama is going to come to you for the support. And now TMZ is at my doorstep. Now people are knocking at my door with microphones. Hey, your man's cheating on you, got an outside kid. Are you going to break up with him? Right? Of course, you don't want to divorce him because you're staying in that $2.3 million house, right? And you haven't had to work in 17 years, but it's a huge embarrassment. So the
Mhm.
whole kids thing is huge. That's usually the first rule. No diseases. And
Mhm.
Dale's been on the road. Maybe he's in Sacramento, and then maybe he's in Philadelphia. Maybe he's
Mhm.
down there in Miami, right? Like, don't bring home anything. Don't bring home little animals, down there on your pubic head, right? Because then that goes to embarrassment too. Because now I got to go to my OBGYN. I'm 45 years old, been married 15 years, and I got crabs. What do I look like as a 47-year-old woman with crabs? The doctor's gonna be like, your man, and the doctor's gonna be right. That's embarrassing.
Right.
Or, a lot of guys, and you'll do this too, guys, you got a little outside action, then you come home and you want to run and jump in the shower, right? But your woman ain't stupid. What's she gonna tell you? Hey, don't run, don't hit the door, open this door, come into this house and jump straight into the shower. Like, come in here like you got some sense, right? Clean yourself up beforehand. Don't show up and then first thing you want to do is run and take a shower. Stop, say hello to the kids, hang out for a while, right? Come home clean. Like, don't embarrass me running upstairs trying to jump in the shower, right, when you hit the door, because I know what that means. So that's really the huge thing, this whole embarrassment things. If women will go for arrangements, but not if you embarrass them. No woman's gonna, no matter how much money it is, a guy really has to try to save face with her. Also, about telling, a lot of women, they know what you're doing. They don't want you to tell at all, right? They don't want you to come home with the lipstick on the collar. They don't want you to come home smelling like Pantene, right? You black. Why are you smelling like Pantene, right? Let's be honest. Right. Let's be honest, right? They don't want you to come home smelling like perfume or anything like that. They don't want to know who. They don't want to know when. They don't want to know what. They don't want to see any telephone numbers in your pants. That's kind of old school, right? No one really has that anymore. When your girl gives you the writes it down and you stick it in your back pants, and now she's doing the laundry and she sees Melissa. No, don't do anything like that. So just, be super discreet. Act like nothing's going on. The kids don't find out. I don't find out. And you can do what you want. And I'm sure, I don't know, but I am sure this is how they have been handling their relationship for their 33 years of marriage. Now it turns out that she's got a man, right? That, like you said, this guy that they all went to college with. Now, a lot of people think, oh, well, that means that she was cheating through the whole time since she knew him in college and now she's kind of hooked back up with him. I don't necessarily agree. Guys, what I see all the time is that people lose touch. You'll go to college, you might have a college sweetheart or a romance, something like that, but then you guys graduate and you go on your separate ways. I remember what changed the game, why people started coming back. What changed the game? Why did people start reconnecting?
The internet.
Facebook. Yes, you're exactly right. It was Facebook. When Facebook hit, all the attorneys, all the divorce attorneys were like this. It was Christmas. It was Christmas time. It just, all the businesses started skyrocketing. Why? Because all these high school sweethearts, all these college sweethearts start sending all these IMs. And if you're a woman, you got 2 kids, you've been in a stale marriage for 8 years. Let's say you've been in a marriage for 8 years. The last 3 years have been stale. Right? Your husband is just playing video games and he's working. He's not paying any attention to you because he remembers when you were 40 pounds less than what you are now. But now you got the old college guy coming back after, 15 years and he thinks you look spectacular. But that's because he's not satisfied with his wife because his wife's also gained 45 pounds. He's looking at you with new eyes. Now you sense him. You sense this attention that you're getting. Now you're getting butterflies. Let's be honest. No one who's in an 8-year marriage, 10-year marriage gets butterflies when their spouse comes in the door, right? You're more likely to get an eye roll or a sigh. So when women and men, but let's talk about Sonya here for a second. In this type of relationship, you get this new life. So it absolutely could be that, even though back in the day they knew each other in college, they somehow reconnected in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, and it sparked off. Lord knows she thinks she's justified in doing anything in this relationship because of what light-skinned Dell was doing in the 80s and 90s, right? She can't do any wrong. So it's weird to me that this is kicked up so much conflict because number one, everybody knows that Dell was dirty, right? And number two, it seems hypocritical now for there to be so much type of angst or stress now that the wife wants to do her thing. So, what's the cause? Well, looks like the wife is asking for alimony. Looks like Sonya's asking for alimony. Now, why? That's another thing too that's weird, right? I mean, who knows how much Dell and Sonya have, right? Dell played in the NBA, but he didn't play in the LeBron era, right?
Right.
So it's not like he was making, all the he's not like he was getting the contracts that his sons are getting.
Right.
But if everything has been great for 33 years, for a fact that those Curry boys are taking care of their parents. They don't hurt for anything. And, maybe they've got investments. I'm sure they've got investments. I'm sure they've got real estate. They don't have to work. Neither Dell nor Sonya has to show up at 9 a.m. and clock in at some office. That's not how they're living. Plus, on top of that, they're still relatively young, but what are they? I think Sonya is like 55, Dell is like 60. It's not like they're 33 or 28 and they need money. They need to grind. Mm-hmm. Like they're kind of, Lord knows, Lord bless them. They've got a lot of years left, but they're kind of, riding into the sunset a little bit. 60 years old, why are you fighting so hard for millions of dollars? So the fact that she's asking for alimony and it's turning so ugly is really surprising, especially because in the court documents, she put, hey, not only did I know about the cheating, but all of our family friends knew about the cheating and our family knew about the cheating. As an attorney, when I see that, what that means to me is you're letting me know that you might plan to call some of these people as witnesses. You might plan to put subpoenas on some of these people. How ugly would it be for this attorney to put a subpoena on Steph Curry and have Steph Curry sitting on the witness stand talking about how he knew that his father was cheating all of these years, and then have to face cross-examination when Dell's attorney says, well, you're talking bad about Dell. Fair enough. What about your mama? What about your mama? What about your mama and this guy down here, this guy that was in New England, right? You didn't hear anything about that. You didn't see anything. You didn't suspect anything, right? And what's weird again is that the family, according to inside sources, they're picking and choosing. Steph has come out and said that he supports his mom, that he's basically on his mom's side, that he's super disappointed in his dad. Aisha, the wife, that's how you say her name, right, Aisha? She was talking about how she was disgusted by Dell's behavior in this. Everybody's going to the mom because according to this source, Steph has a special relationship with his mother, like a lot of men, I suppose. But it's super weird that this is turning so ugly, and the family now is picking and choosing. And what's weird is Steph and Aisha, they are on the mom's side particularly because they do not agree that Dell, the father, is putting out this information that mom might be for the streets, right? That mom's doing some extra stuff. But I don't think they understand that the only reason that Dell is putting this information out is because it can act to reduce his amount of alimony. Everybody has to remember that Dell is looking, that the wife, Sonya, the mother, she's asking for alimony, and she's going to be asking for millions. So what is Dell thinking? Dell's like, hold up for a second. You got millions already, right? Your new man who you're living with, he has millions, right? Because he used to play back in the day, but I think he's like a commercial developer or something like that. And she's not going to leave Dell to go to a school teacher, right? Like, come on, right? She's a light-skinned black woman, right? She gonna get hers. So that was ugly to say, but you know what I'm saying. She's got her own millions. Her new zaddy, he has millions, and her sons have millions. So Dell is sitting back like, all these people around you making sure that you got millions, and yet you are asking me for millions. Why are you asking me for alimony when you clearly don't need it? So the only way for him to stop the alimony, and none of this is legal advice, of course, guys, I'm just giving you legal information. The only way for him to reduce his exposure to alimony is to put up evidence that she cheated, which is why he said in the court documents that not only has she committed various acts of infidelity, but she lied to him each and every time she committed that infidelity? Why did he say that she lied about it? Why is she going out? Why is Dell going out and saying that stepmama is lying out here in these court documents? Because, guys, usually if you committed infidelity, let's say you cheat on your woman, right? And she finds out, but you got her staying in a 1.2, right? So she don't really want to go nowhere, so she forgives you. Well, if she forgives you, then it's like you didn't commit the infidelity at all, right? Let's reverse it, because this is normally how it goes down. The wife cheats. Let's say the wife cheats on you. So you're married for 8 years, and you find out your wife is cheating. Now, because you don't want to lose custody of your kids, and you don't want to lose the 401k, and you don't want to get kicked out of the house, you decide not to file a divorce. You decide to stay together. Well, when she told you, when you found out she cheated, and then when you decided to stay with her, what you have done is you have reconciled. And that is actually a legal action. You have just taken a legal step. What have you done? When you reconcile with your wife, you have basically erased the fact that she cheated. In so many states, if your wife cheats, she can't come back and ask for alimony because she cheated, right? So she can't get it. Or she gets a much less amount because of the infidelity. Now, you got to prove that she cheated, but if you can prove it, she's not going to get it. Well, if she cheats and then you can prove that she did the infidelity, so she's not going to get the alimony, but then you reconcile, you stay with her, you have now erased the fact that she cheated. So now you can't come back later on in a divorce and say, oh yeah, you cheated on me, because you reconciled. Right? Oh, that's why he's saying that she's lying about all this, that she lied to him about these infidelities so that he can show that he never forgave. If you forgive an alimony, if you forgive an infidelity, it's like that you are allowing this attack of alimony against you. And so what he's saying is, no. I can still fight this alimony because I never forgave the infidelities. So that's why this is getting so messy, with people alleging all of this infidelity, with maybe Steph having to testify, Aisha, the family, right? The Sonya, the wife, putting out that everybody knows about Dell's infidelities. And it could very well be that they're going to have a hearing to determine how much, if any, alimony the mom could pay. And that's going to be so nasty. And you sit back and you ask yourself, why? If the mom has millions, if her sons have millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're old, not a shot, but I think she's like 55. What does she need all these extra millions of dollars for? You would think that if you're already set with millions, you would think your peace has a price. Your mental tranquility has a price. It's like they're not putting any price on peace. They've already got millions, but they're like, yeah, we want millions more, and we're willing to make it nasty. We're willing to cause division within the family. We're willing to become a public spectacle, right? Fighting each other for millions. And to me, it really doesn't make sense. You don't really see cases like this too much, where the parties are financially set, millions upon millions of dollars, and yet they're still fighting at an older age. So
let me ask you this: as far as the states, I know states do things different. Is this based out of like North Carolina where they met, or is it, or where they got married? What's it they get married in? Do you know?
Yeah, I think the divorce is actually filed in North Carolina. So I'm not sure kind of where. I would suppose that they are residents of North Carolina, since the paperwork has been filed there. Now, when you have a lot of money, you can actually fight about where you live. There's a lot of people who have 3 houses, 4 houses, and they rotate through these houses throughout the year. And so it can actually be a fight as to where the divorce should be filed, because maybe the wife says, oh, well, we live in Texas, and the husband says, no, we live in Colorado, right? So, you have to look to see where you get your mail, what's the address on your driver's license, things like that, to determine your actual domicile. Right. So that can be a legal question in itself. But it seems that they've already agreed that their domicile, where they reside legally, is in North Carolina. So because they filed it in North Carolina and they legally reside in North Carolina, then the laws of North Carolina are going to apply to their divorce case.
Okay. So Did he have any kind of now, this is the manosphere, right? So guys are gonna want to know. You know where I'm going with this. But hey, listen, if Dell would have signed a prenuptial agreement, would he be in this much trouble, or where would a prenup have played a role in something like this?
Yeah, a prenup could have eliminated the alimony. Now, prenups they've been around forever, but they've been married 33 years. And two black people getting married 33 years ago, prenup really wasn't a big thing. Prenups work. They absolutely work. A lot of people think that they don't, right? For example, Dr. Dre's situation, he had to pay what? Like $300,000 in alimony each month. And he has a prenup. So a lot of people are saying, oh, well, prenups don't work. Prenups don't work. Well, what do I tell you guys? Whenever someone tells you that a prenup doesn't work, that a prenup failed, that a prenup got thrown out, you have to, there's one word that you got to say. There's just one word. And the word is why. Why did the prenup fail? Why did the prenup get thrown out? Right? A lot of people want to talk about Steven Spielberg and he had to pay all these millions because his prenup got thrown out. Well, what's the one word you say? Why? Why did Steven Spielberg's prenup get thrown out? Oh, because he wrote it himself on the back of a napkin, right? If you ask why, then it becomes clear why all these prenups get thrown out. You guys try to write them yourself. You'll put in there, oh, if my wife ever weighs more than 150 pounds, then, she gets nothing in the divorce, right? Or if my wife, doesn't give me sex 3 times a week, then if we divorce, I get full custody of the kids. Like you guys write these atrocious prenups that no court is going to hold up. Of course, it's going to get thrown out. But if you take the proper steps in drafting your prenup, then it will hold up. You don't even have to worry about it. So going back to the Dr. Dre situation, people say, well, of course his prenup didn't work because he has to pay $300,000 a month. That's obvious that it didn't work. That's not true. Why? Because he has to pay $300,000 a month in alimony. Fair enough. What did the prenup say? The prenup allowed her to get alimony. It was part of the agreement. It was part of the prenup that she could get it. You guys are saying that it didn't work because she got it, when it shows that it did work because that was the plan, that she was going to get the alimony in the first place. Like you guys are, and I'm not blaming you, right? Because you're not attorneys, but then you go around and make these bold statements that influence other men. There are a lot of men who will sit around in the red pill community and say, oh, well, everybody else is saying I'm not going to get a prenup, so why would I pay the $3,000? And then 15 years later, when they're getting, torn up in divorce court, somebody's going to look at it, why didn't you get a prenup? Oh, well, they told me in the red pill community that it didn't work. It's like, Jesus, we're setting ourselves up for failure. Right. So Dr. Dre's prenup, actually, now I think they might still be, working out some things, but the prenup with respect to the alimony absolutely worked. So if Dale had gotten a prenup and it had said in there that he wasn't gonna have to pay any alimony, there would be no fight about this stuff, right? There would be no fight about it. The issue is, of course, like you said, they didn't have one. And again, it to be honest, it just looks like greed, because I can't see another reason why they would fight tooth and nail and involve family members and friends when there's just millions upon millions of dollars to spare in this family. Like 2 kids in the NBA, and one of them's going to get $300 million through their 2026 contract. $300 million, and you're 60 years old. Why are you fighting for anything? That O'Shea, you're making all this money and you invested that $300 million is going to turn into $400 million. You got an extra $100 million in there. Why are we fighting as a family? Why are we talking about these infidelities, especially when we had agreements that have lasted for 3 decades? It's so weird. It's a super weird situation.
Let me ask you this. What do you think, if this was Vegas odds and we were betting on the outcome of this, what's going to happen? Who do you think is going to end up on top from what you know from the information? What would you say?
Man, that's a good question, because neither one of them is going to be on the bottom, in the sense that they were already made, they're already set. And in terms of who's on top, probably I don't really know much about the case. I would imagine that she's going to get some alimony, I suppose, because even in, let's say in Georgia, for example, if you can prove that your wife is cheated on you, then that is an absolute bar to alimony. You can't get it. I think I think in North Carolina, it's different. I think that even if you cheat, there's still some flexibility if the husband is cheated, if Dell is cheated, and Lord knows he's cheated, right? If both parties have cheated, then the court is going to try to decide how much alimony she's going to get. So she's probably going to get something, but at the end of the day, it's something that she doesn't need anyway. That's what I don't understand. Like, some people are so greedy. Some people they will fight you to the death over $17. Like, it's the principle of the thing. No one can convince me unless, they've got the Russian mob after them for some crazy debt that we don't know about. No one can convince me that this 55-year-old woman and this 60-year-old man need all of this money they're fighting over, especially because, they've already got millions and their sons keep signing these $100 million contracts. Like, the money just keeps coming in. So why are we fighting? So I think they're going to get divorced. Of course, they've both moved on. At least, Lord knows, Sonya has, right? Right. And that's another thing too. Her new man has millions. Yeah, everywhere rich. Sonya looks is people with millions. Her son's got millions. She looks in her bank account, millions. Her new man's got millions. Why are we fighting like cats and dogs in public? That's one thing. As an attorney, 20-year divorce attorney, it seems to me that it's just greed. It's absolutely greed, because it doesn't seem like they need this money at all. Not to the extent that they're fighting over it, right? But I think she's probably going to get a few. She's going to get some money. She's going to get some alimony, but maybe not as much as if she had never committed any infidelity. And again, this is assuming that she's committed some type of infidelity. Certain Steph doesn't believe it. Steph does not want to hear his mom is out here doing things for Zaddy, right? He does not want to hear it. So it's a weird case.
Okay. Well, TLA, always dropping game. I remember our first collaboration. You definitely come a long way since February. I mean, you went from you put a lot of work in yourself and you figured out things. Tell people, I mean, most people know you now in the black YouTube and as far as in the manosphere space, but tell people who don't know about you why they should subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, listen, I'm one of the few guys that'll come on, at 2:30 in the afternoon on Tuesdays and Thursdays and give you guys the game from a legal perspective. And of course, we do have attorneys in the sector. We've got shout out to Uncle D, Dennis Sperling, excellent attorney. But he hits you with just such a wide range of information. He's got more knowledge than me. I'm much more limited, but more focused in what I talk about. And so if you want to hear about popular pop culture, if you want to hear about things that are happening in the moment, and you want a legal side, especially from a divorce attorney, because I think Dennis Sperling, he does civil law. He's making that civil law money, right? I do divorce work, and as far as I know, I'm the only 20-year divorce attorney on YouTube, especially in this sector. I'm the only one. And so no one has the expertise, no one has the perspective, the experience that I have talking about these divorce cases, or even when it comes to relationships and marriages and of course, divorce. So if you want to find out what's happening, if you want to know about, the dynamics of a relationship and a divorce, people fighting over money, people fighting over children, custody, people fighting over alimony, property division, you can come check me out. My name is, you see it right there, the lead attorney. You just type into YouTube, the lead attorney, and you'll see this beautiful face pop up. And just come over and check us out. We have got a strong community. Again, that is it's so influenced by you, O'Shea, and the way that you've kind of shown as an example. You've taught me, just looking at you as an example, how to do and how to move in this YouTube space. And so we have a very big community that's super supportive over there. So you should come check us out. And if you agree with me or you disagree with me, I let everybody hit the link. You can come up. Not a lot of YouTubers allow you to do that. I let anybody who wants just come up and say their piece. Sometimes people agree with me, sometimes they don't, and we'll have a debate. And I'll have to crush them, right? So if you want to get crushed, right, I'll just tease it. But if you have an opinion, if you have a strong perspective on something, no matter what field you're in, you can come over and have your voice heard.
All right, so guys, check them out on the first comment pinned to the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.